Hello, everybody. Welcome to this new piece of content for the winter session. We are starting at the Paris Art and Movie Award with the sessions. We're going to have one in the winter, one in the fall, and every season we're going to do that. We created the winter session to have more time and more opportunity to discuss one-on-one with filmmakers and really take a little bit of time to discuss about the movies and the person making the movie. And of course, this is also serving as episode 2 of Spotlight this year for the new season of Spotlight that we're very happy to do again. But without further ado, it's my pleasure to welcome Pelayo de Lario. Sorry. Yeah. I did it well for the rehearsal and I messed it up when I announced you.
No, it's all right. Don't worry about it. Everyone struggles. I've had people call me Paella sometimes, so like it's not even a big deal, honestly.
Okay, cool. So you told me you are in West London right now.
Yeah, near Chiswick, sort of.
Okay, so you have a production company there, correct?
Yeah, we have. So Groucho Arts, the production company for Jack, and then our new feature film, which we're going to shoot next year. This is kind of our offers for the moment. Hopefully, with time, we can get a bigger offers, but at the time being, this is the one.
Excellent. Tell me a little bit about you for a start. As a filmmaker, what's been your path? What's been your formative years? Where do you come from as a filmmaker?
So, I mean, I think a big important part of me as a filmmaker was like I grew up all over the place. So I like spent time in growing up in Barcelona and Amsterdam and London and a bit in the south of Spain. So it was a lot of very much like a very international sort of education. And I feel like that has played a big part in me as a person and me as a filmmaker. And then as well, I grew up in a household where classic Hollywood cinema was very prevalent. So I watched an incredible amount of like classical movies. So like Capra, Lubitsch, Wilder, like all of the kind of Ford and all those guys, and so that was my film education.
How do you think that played to influence your movie making for yourself?
I think it certainly was a great influence. First of all, in my writing, so like watching like the Marx Brothers, for example, and Billy Wilder and Lubitsch and that kind of stuff, like that kind of quick, quippy dialogue was a big influence on my writing. And then I think just having like a good base of what works visually and how they did it, how the kind of godfathers of cinema did it, was like a really good base, a good starting point to then kind of develop those ideas into my own style.
It makes sense. It makes sense with a movie. But I cut you off. You wanted to tell more about your
no, yeah, just like I studied. I did film studies at Queen Mary University, and like a big part of my film education took place like here in London, and sort of like meeting filmmakers here as well, because it's a huge film hub over here. And it's been super kind of a great place to learn, London. So yeah.
So you've made that movie, Jack, which is a feature film, and you are the first winner of the first session we do at the Paris Art and Movie Awards. So you're making history in a way because you're the first of the first. That's our first feature film for that event, for that context, that thing we're creating right now. I think it's very original as a movie. I've never seen anything like this before. Would you like to pitch it, please?
Okay. So Jack is a very wild sort of comedy. It's an absurdist comedy. So we took a lot of inspiration from. I can't. What's the name now? I can't figure out. But
you mentioned Superbad in your.
I mentioned Superbad. Superbad was a big influence. But Young Frankenstein and like Blazing Saddles. I can't remember the name of the director right now. I'm really struggling for the name.
It'll come back. It'll come back.
It'll come back to me. But he was a great inspiration, and sort of like the kind of 70s absurdist movies. So like Airplane, Blazing Saddles, High Anxiety, those sorts of like 1970s comedy classics were a big influence in our style of comedy. And the movie itself is about like this university student who's like struggling with his love life and whatnot. And the big kind of selling point of it is that you hear his penis speaking. So like he gives him pointers on like how to speak to women and whatnot. But it very much is like it doesn't go into like a sort of, you know, grotesque kind of comedy. It always keeps
and
it on.
That's what's kind of intelligent and funny about it. It doesn't go too far. It's just enough. It's edgy, as they say in the US. It's just at the edge of some kind of awkward thing, and that makes it very funny from beginning to the end.
I think a big thing for us, a big thing for me personally, was like playing very much on the comedic aspects of like male or like masculinity, and kind of, because I think a lot of the time he sort of like finds men attractive, but at the same time he likes women, and he's like having this battle of like, I'm a man and I want to like be with women, but at the same time, like I like all these things that don't necessarily make me less of a man, but for a long time they have been seen as something that makes you less of a man. And, you know, taking the comedy out of all those things, and yeah, I like that aspect of like making fun of like hyper masculinity that we have in the film.
Where does it come from, that idea?
The idea of having a talking penis?
Yeah.
Well, I think it was my co-writer who came up with the idea. It was just sort of like we were talking, you know, just, you know, swapping jokes and whatnot. And she's like, "Oh, you know, men always think with their penis. Wouldn't it be great if we could hear them talk?" And we're like, "Yeah, that would be great."
Say that a lot.
Quite a hard line to kind of tread. So we left that for about 2 years. And then we came back to it over confinement because we were like, let's make a comedy feature film. Like, I feel like that people want to laugh right now.
Is it your first film?
Yeah, this is my first film. Yeah, it's also my first script as well.
Because you wrote it, you directed.
Yeah.
You directed it, and you also told me that you made the voice.
I did some voice acting for it.
You made some voice, and not only one character, but several characters.
Several characters, yeah. So I did Jack, the penis. I have a very penis-y voice.
As you can hear.
Yeah, and then I did Rock's grandma. So I tried to kind of become like a very British grandma. And then I just did like a man over the phone. But I even did like, so this poster here, I did that one myself as well. And then like the initial title credits graphics, I designed them as well. And then I edited the whole thing. Because, you know, like, it's a low budget production, so it was a lot of multitasking. Yeah,
you are the kind of multitasking filmmaker. You made the movie, you wrote it, directed it. I'm pretty sure you helped produce it and make it happen. You made the poster. You're submitting it to festivals, so you're really treating it as you should treat your first feature film. What's interesting to me is, we see a lot of films, and I have a lot of friends. Usually when you make a first feature film, you don't go for a comedy. I don't know why, but that's pretty, usually comedies.
True.
It's not the kind of first thing you want to do. Was it something you wanted to do? You really are a comedy guy? This is your genre? Or
yeah, so I think the way I saw it is